In the cutthroat world of Cbiz, every newcomer prays for a miracle, and for Tian Ning, that miracle was called revenged love. It was the era of the BL gold rush, where any handsome face paired with a controversial bromance could turn into an overnight sensation. Tian Ning didn't just walk through the door of fame, he kicked it down. With his sharp features and a physique that seemed carved from marble, he became the ultimate fantasy for a massive, dedicated fandom. At that moment, he wasn't just another rookie. He was the chosen one, holding the golden ticket that had previously launched the careers of industry giants. The success of Revenged Love was an intoxicating illusion. It convinced everyone, including perhaps Tian Ning himself, that charisma and fan service were the only ingredients needed for a permanent seat at the top table. He mastered the art of the lingering stare and the teasing smile, feeding a hungry audience exactly what they wanted to see. In this honeymoon phase, his lack of formal acting range didn't matter because the BL fever acted as a perfect filter, blurring his flaws and magnifying his magnetism. He was a king in a niche kingdom, basking in an adoration so loud it drowned out the reality of the industry beyond the fan-fic world. The tragedy of Part 1 is the false sense of security that comes with a BL hit. While the world saw a rising star, the industry saw a limited-time offer. Tian Ning was a sensation, yes, but he was also becoming a prisoner of a very specific archetype. He had found the shortcut to fame, but shortcuts in Cbiz often lead to a dead end. We all thought Revenged Love was his beginning, the foundation of a legendary career. In reality, it was a peak he would spend the next decade trying and failing to climb back to. The problem with a golden ticket in the BL world is that it often comes with an expiration date. Welcome to the boy love ceiling. While stars like Xiao Zhan or Wang Yibo used the genre as a springboard to jump into the mainstream, Tian Ning found himself hitting his head against a glass ceiling. In the eyes of serious directors and major production houses, he was branded. He wasn't seen as a versatile actor. He was seen as a niche idol who appealed to a specific, obsessive demographic. The very same fans who cheered for his bromance became a wall that blocked him from being taken seriously in high-budget S-tier dramas. As the Chinese government began to tighten its grip on Danmei adaptations, the ground beneath Tian Ning's feet shifted. The shortcuts were closed, and the formula that made him famous was suddenly taboo. While his peers were busy transforming their images, taking on gritty roles or period masterpieces, Tian Ning seemed stuck in a loop. He was trapped in the pretty boy persona, unable to shed the skin of his BL past. He became a victim of his own success. He was too famous to be a nobody, but not mainstream enough to be a leading man in the industry's eyes. The tragedy of Part 2 is the realization that a niche fandom is a gilded cage. For Tian Ning, the transition wasn't just difficult, it was nearly impossible. He spent years trying to find a footing in traditional dramas, only to find that the industry had already moved on to the next fresh face. He was a relic of a trend that had peaked too early, a star who was still playing by the old rules in a game that had completely changed. The ceiling was low, the air was thinning, and the golden boy was starting to realize that his crown was made of cardboard. When the doors of the mainstream industry remained locked, Tian Ning didn't choose to starve in the shadows of serious acting. Instead, he made a calculated retreat. Welcome to the transition to microdramas. He moved from the cinematic 45-minute episodes to the frantic vertical world of 1-minute fast food stories. On Douyin and TikTok, he found a new kingdom. In this world, the plot is secondary, and the vibe is everything. He traded complex character arcs for high-contrast filters and exaggerated CEO energy, becoming the face of the microdrama boom. This shift was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it gave him back the fame he had lost since Revenged Love. He was once again at the center of the frame, his face plastered across millions of smartphones. But on the other hand, it was a surrender. By embracing the microdrama world, he essentially admitted that he could no longer compete with the real actors in Beijing. He became a king of low-budget aesthetics, where acting is reduced to a series of poses: the angry stare, the cold smirk, the dramatic coat flip. It was fame, yes, but it was cheap fame, a digital sugar high that satisfied the masses but offered zero artistic nutrition. The tragedy of Part 3 is the loss of professional dignity. For an actor who once stood on the precipice of stardom, moving to microdramas is like a marathon runner deciding to only race in 10-meter sprints. He found his audience again, but he lost the respect of the industry. He became a content creator rather than a performer, trapped in a cycle of churning out 5 dramas a month just to stay relevant in an algorithm that forgets you in 24 hours. He chose the small screen of the smartphone over the big screen of the cinema, and in doing so, he signed a contract with mediocrity. In the frantic world of vertical dramas, there is no time for method acting or subtle emotional layers. You have exactly 3 seconds to grab the viewer's attention before they swipe. This has forced Tian Ning into the ultimate eye candy trap. Instead of honing his craft, he has perfected his angles. His acting has become a collection of physical assets: the sharp jawline, the abs revealed in a half-open shirt, and the brooding CEO gaze that looks more like a photo shoot for a cologne brand than a genuine performance. He isn't selling a story anymore. He's selling an aesthetic. The problem with prioritizing visuals over talent is that it has a very short shelf life. When your entire career is built on being the handsome guy in the suit, you become a commodity rather than an artist. In every short drama, Tian Ning plays the same character with a different name. Whether he's a vengeful tycoon or a protective bodyguard, the expression remains the same: a polished porcelain mask of perfection. He has mastered the art of fan service, giving the audience what they want to see: skin, smirks, and slow-motion walks, while letting his actual acting skills atrophy from neglect. The tragedy of Part 4 is the hollow core of his fame. Tian Ning has become a victim of the very filters that make him look so good. By choosing to be a visual-first actor, he has sent a message to the industry: I am here to be looked at, not to be heard. In the long run, this is a dangerous gamble. New, younger, and prettier faces appear on Douyin every single day. If your only weapon is your face, what happens when the algorithm finds a sharper one? He is a masterpiece in a digital gallery, but the moment the viewer turns off their screen, the memory of his performance vanishes instantly. When a star's current work lacks substance, they often turn to the most powerful weapon in their arsenal: nostalgia. Tian Ning and his team are masters of this ghost marketing. Even years after Revenged Love ended, his digital presence is still carefully curated to trigger the memories of the BL era. Whether it's a specific pose, a familiar wardrobe choice, or accidental interactions that mimic his old bromance, every move is calculated to keep the old fandom hooked. He isn't moving forward. He is walking backward, constantly reminding everyone of the time he was actually relevant. This reliance on nostalgia is a sign of creative bankruptcy. By leaning into the ghosts of his past success, Tian Ning is effectively telling the world that his best days are behind him. On social media, his content often feels like a greatest hits compilation of things that worked in 2015, repackaged for 2026. This strategy might keep a loyal core of fans buying his products and watching his short dramas, but it alienates the broader industry. To serious producers, he looks like an actor who is afraid to grow up, a man who would rather be a BL legend on a smartphone screen than take the risk of being a nobody in a real movie. Every time he uses a callback to his BL roots to gain a few thousand likes, he buries his future a little deeper. He has become a salesman of his own history, trading on the emotions of a fandom that is still waiting for a comeback that will never happen. Nostalgia is a comfortable place to stay, but nothing ever grows there. Tian Ning is so busy looking in the rearview mirror that he doesn't realize he's driving his career directly into a dead end. We arrive at the final verdict for Tian Ning, the breakthrough or the burnout. Currently, he is the undisputed king of the vertical screen, but kings in the world of algorithms have the shortest reigns. The industry moves with brutal speed. Today's top CEO is tomorrow's old news. Tian Ning is at a dangerous crossroads. He can continue to be a high-speed content machine, churning out interchangeable dramas for quick views, or he can take the painful risk of leaving his comfort zone to rebuild his credibility as a real actor. The tragedy of the short drama king is that the more successful you are in that world, the harder it is to leave. He is earning money, he has millions of followers, but he is becoming artistically invisible to the prestige industry. Unless he breaks the cycle of selling visuals and nostalgia, he faces the ultimate burnout, not of his body but of his brand. When the next pretty face arrives with a sharper jawline and a fresher BL vibe, the fans who once worshipped him on their smartphones will swipe left without a second thought. An actor without a soul in his performance is just a high-definition image, and images are easily replaced. Tian Ning's story is a cautionary tale for the new generation of Cbiz. It's a story about the cost of shortcuts. He chose the fast lane of microdramas and the easy comfort of BL nostalgia, but in doing so, he may have traded away his seat at the table of legends. If he doesn't find a way to reinvent himself, to prove that there is a heart beating beneath those polished abs, he will remain a digital ghost, a one-minute prince whose legacy is as fleeting as a 24-hour story. The algorithm is waiting, and for Tian Ning, time is ticking in 60-second intervals.